I'm just giving a warning.
Give us a proper moment for when Jem shows up, and it's just like, boom, he's here. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. He's eating.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't give a shit. That's funny.
The fucking podcast. Wow.
It's fine. I just get to call him out on it.
What do you guys think he's got?
Some kind of spaghetti or something. Yeah, I'm gonna guess some kind of pasta dish.
Well, I want to guess it's gonna be like a. He doesn't do rice dishes. It was like
potatoes. It's got to be some potatoes.
It's gotta be like a mashed potato and like some meat or something.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he's like cutting up potatoes and like he's gonna have that like with some kind. I could see him doing pasta, but definitely like potatoes are chopped potatoes are like Jem's staple at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll see. We'll see what he says. You know, my guess is he's got some sort of potato with a meat. Sherry's got some pasta dish, or
I'm going like low in pasta. Like, I'm talking like some ramen.
He's talking like soup.
Okay. Jonah went with the spaghetti route.
Yeah, I did. I'm thinking more traditional.
The traditional spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Good old buttered noodles.
You can butter my noodles any day.
Boy, let me tell you what.
Eli's already buttered my noodles. He's very good at it.
Yeah, you get nice and lubricated when you're wrestling.
I was going to ask, what kind of buttering of noodles are we talking about here? Are we talking about, I don't know, linguine? Are we talking about,
Sure, would you...
Fettuccine?
How'd you classify our body hair as a pasta? It's like an angel hair pasta, right?
Well, some angel hair. Some are closer to spaghetti.
I hope you know this is going in the intro.
Oh, I'm sure. It's actually, you know what? It's probably a risotto.
Yeah.
It's like real small. You treat it just like, it's not pasta, obviously, but, you know.
Oh, and then my beard hair is like, like rice, like uncooked rice.
It's that long grain rice.
Yeah.
That stubble I would get from shaving in the morning and dry shave at night.
Oh, wrestling dry shaves.
You remember that? Like, it's like, Eli, you literally watched me shave.
Yeah.
What's
here.
up, big boy?
Jem, what are you eating?
What am I eating?
Yeah.
I am eating some pasta.
Let's fucking go! Let's go!
That has vegetables and some fish. Why? What's up?
We placed bets on what you're eating, and I got it all on recording. I win again.
You didn't
What's
win.
my cut?
I won.
Wait, I said pasta.
He did say pasta.
I did say pasta, but I'm not eating just pasta. I'm eating a whole slew of other stuff.
Wait, is potatoes in there?
Yes.
Let's fucking go! I win again!
No, wait. No, this doesn't have potatoes in it.
Oh, god damn
I was
it.
gonna say, that'd be kind of weird if you had potatoes and pasta, like double starch up.
I thought it was
Calm
like
down.
on the side, maybe.
It is, yeah, that's kind of how I eat those. I usually cook them a bit differently. So instead of them being mashed potatoes, I cook them with onions and garlic, so that it's a bit of a sweeter.
Yeah.
It looks like a paste, which I know it doesn't really sound that appetizing, but it's not that bad.
Is it more like spaghetti, or what kind of pasta is it? That's the big...
Shells.
Okay, that counts. And like a cheese sauce, or...
Where'd you get the shells? The brand matters.
I don't remember.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Literally
Sherry's-
bought 2 boxes of shells and called it a day. Why?
Sherry was trying to get the instant pasta win there because he said that you had like some low end pasta.
I used those when I was in college, yes, because they were quite handy actually.
Yeah.
But like, is it a cheese sauce, or is it like a marinara?
Right now, I have no sauce.
I was way off base.
What?
You're raw dogging it.
Yes. You want to
Yeah,
picture what I'm eating? Hold on a second.
Sometimes you gotta raw dog those noodles.
Oh, did you like put Parmesan on it or something at least? Like a shrimp scampi stuff? Oh god.
You don't need a sauce for pasta.
You got it right.
Here. Because y'all are so
I mean-
curious as to what I'm eating. Give me a second.
We
Yeah,
put
we
bets
have
on
to
it.
know.
It's a competition now.
Yeah.
Damn.
No,
Well,
it's
what's
actually
my
just all this is an elaborate ruse. We were just talking huge shit about you.
Well,
Man, that
we're always
fat
talking about.
fuck.
It actually looks pretty good.
That
Nice.
looks
What kind of
pretty
fish do you
appetizing.
have?
Hmm?
What kind of fish?
Tilapia.
That's what I had tonight. My sad diet.
I
Okay.
had chili.
I'm gonna
No,
grab some water before we can
rolls.
start.
Yeah, get some water. Stay
Both are
hydrated,
good. Both are
motherfucker.
good.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up, liquid. All right.
Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna be cooking again.
What?
I'm not sure what I'm
Eli,
gonna be cooking.
would you allow me to be a gunslinger?
I'd have to read the rules on it.
It's in the original. It's not like
Yeah,
added on material.
if it's on the original rules, then I really can't say no. I don't think.
Let's
Wait,
go.
what?
Plan on DMing a Pathfinder
Mm.
campaign.
Okay.
That's the thing that I announced earlier. So
So what you boys been up to today?
Hey! I'm hosting this week. I'm supposed to be the one asking the questions here.
No. He just starts fucking reading like the Declaration of Independence.
please
Score.
give it.
No,
I pledge
That's-
allegiance to
That's
the
the
flag.
Gettysburg Address.
I have a dream.
Now
All right,
listen
hold on a
here.
second.
Okay, I think we're about right to start. Is Pippin
Hey
joining?
guys.
No, Pippin is not joining. He's off.
Pip's not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, did you know that in terms of male and human and female
No,
breeding?
no. You stop that.
Oh, wait. Actually, before we start, I need to test Jem's audio because he was really quiet last episode. So that's important. Jem, can you talk consistently for a while?
Oh, I'd love to. Vaporeon is most compatible Pokemon for humans. Not only are they in the field egg,
All right, we're good.
also comprised of mammals.
We're
They're
good.
than on
We're
average.
good. I'm gonna mute him.
No more.
All right, Sherry, you can start this fucking episode for God's sakes.
Hello, and welcome to the Cabin Chat. We have a small group here today. We have Eli, Jem, and Jonah. Would be fine to you if you guys could see the order of them on my screen right now. So, there's one thing I've really been wanting to talk about with you guys. Affronts to God.
Oh God.
I don't know if you guys aren't very religious, but you know when something is like standing in the face of God and flipping it off. Sort of like the city of Las Vegas and the entire state of California.
Or the 16-year-old kid that flipped me off on my ride home tonight.
No. That could be deserved, or it could be just him being a dick. Sir,
Nevada?
shaking his fist at God and challenging him.
We talk. Is this whole entire episode going to be about Ohio, please? Like, this is we could talk about each city that's an affront to God.
It's just Sherry airing his grievances about us for an hour and a half.
Let me just give a whole list of all the cities of Ohio. Well, if you have an affront to God, I suppose you should lead us off then.
See, I just think that, like, God created the earth, right? If God created the earth, he made everything around here. And there's more hospitable places than anything else. And as you start going west, you start getting the desert. You see the people who, like, we all read in history class that, like, how the civilizations were formed. Egypt was basically only along a river for very good reason. And then there's a lot of desert where no one lived for a good reason. And then there's the city of Las Vegas. It's basically an island nation right now.
If I may interject, you can arguably make the same statement regarding a certain country somewhere in the Middle East. Just saying.
Jesus.
That's an entire region we're talking about.
I ain't going near that.
That is a 12-foot pole I will not touch, please.
Smart. Let's continue.
Anyways, what are places you guys feel that are affronts to God? That stand in the face and say, God, I'm going to be here despite you doing everything you can to tell me not to be here.
South Dakota.
No, there's literally nothing to do in South Dakota.
It's an affront to God. It somehow still exists, even though there's nothing fucking there.
So South Dakota's purgatory.
Yeah.
I mean, North Dakota is also purgatory, but like it's a different kind of purgatory.
I have not been to North Dakota, so I cannot say, but from what I've known about Southern Dakota, North Dakota can't be much better.
It's the same thing, basically. Like,
Then why they split?
You could combine the two states and make one Super Dakota, and like nothing will change.
Jem, the reason why Mommy and Daddy had a fight, that's why.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they had to divorce.
Well, I know about North Dakota. I went there on a trip right after I got out of the hospital because I'm a really smart person.
I kind of want to know that
I got
story.
right after. It was only like 2 days later. I got a 10-hour drive.
Is this after Is this after your discovery of your condition?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
All right. Sure.
Man, that must have been an interesting drive.
If I die, I don't care anymore.
Jesus.
I call it my sad boy era.
What? But why would you go to North Dakota if you wanted to die? That's like the worst place to
It
go.
was a
man.
pilgrimage of sorts.
He has to walk through the
Pilgrimage for
shit to get to the.
I went to a really nice hockey arena steeped in racism and Nazism.
Just maybe we shouldn't name the hockey arena.
It's not that hard. You could look it up. There's only like 5 hockey arenas in North Dakota.
Oh,
And that
okay.
happens. It's such a shame too. It's such a beautiful arena.
Mm-hmm.
I have personal no problem of naming what it is. It's Ralph Engelstad Arena.
Oh, okay.
He is a known Nazi, and I think like anti-Semitic, and he's a lot of things. And he's the reason that the students there still call their team the Sioux, even though that they're no longer called the Sioux from the actual from their university.
Yeah, they're called the Fighting Hawks now or something.
Yeah, they were Fighting Hawks. Granted, I understand that they didn't like the change, but they didn't have permission to use the name in the first place.
Yeah, it's a bit.
So wait. Just for clarification for myself, because I'm a little confused. So they were once the Fighting Sioux. The entire school, except for them, changed to the Fighting Hawks. Is that correct?
So they were the Fighting Sioux up until like 2015, I think. And then the university was like, "Hey, we don't have permission from this. We've been getting pressured and like sued over this for years, and we're gonna change the name because there's a lot of natives in
Sure. Yeah.
North Dakota, and they're like, we're tired of having these bad relations with people." And so they changed the name to the Fighting Hawks. Not the greatest change in the world.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more. Like they could have been the Oilers. Like so that's a better name. I'm not thinking it's great, but it's better.
Ugh,
Yeah,
Oilers,
it would have
Canada.
been something at least.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know what it is, but like for some reason, like whenever sports teams change their name, it somehow ends up worse. Like the only good modern media branding for a sports team that I've seen is the Seattle Kraken. Like that's the only good one I've seen.
They're not they are a new team. There was a team a long time ago, but they have no affiliation with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I actually, believe it or not, and this is a hot take, I actually don't hate the Cleveland's new name.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like the Guardians, that's not that bad. Like as compared to what their logo for like what the former team known as the Indians used to have. That was I was not a fan of that logo at all. So like them switching to the Guardians
was not a good take.
Yeah, it was a bad take. It was just as bad as the Washington Commanders' former logo.
Oh,
I don't
that
even want to call them by their original name.
Yeah.
South Park did, and they got away with it, but
That's South Park we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the masters here, guys.
At least
Yeah,
they did
but-
it somewhat tastefully, right?
Yeah, that's just. I mean, you're not wrong. It's like there's ways to change your name and make it sound like better. Changing your name to another like form of hawk by putting the word fighting in front of it does not make it better, and does not incentivize the change. Where their entire arena will shout "Sue" in place of the fighting. Like the arena says, or the arena announcer says, it's like, "And presenting blah 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 your North Dakota, your University of North Dakota Fighting Hawks," and then the entire student section fucking shouts "Sue," and I'm like, this is a bad take.
Really?
And naturally, I was with the Misfits at that time.
So
And
I just have a question. Do you know how? Well, actually, finish your story first, and then I'll ask that question.
I can't remember what the cheer was. We actually started like cheering that it's like it's like you're not the Sioux, you're not the Sioux, and it's like, and we were actually like calling out like their team the Hawks just and to make people around them mad.
Nice.
And then there were like some 8-year-olds like swearing at me, like dropping like F-bombs, and I'm like looking at them like, what are you doing here? What are you doing?
Where are your parents?
Where's the babysitter?
Like, man, I get it. There's nothing to do with North Dakota, but your parents can't be bothered to watch you.
One of the kids
Where
just
else are you watching here?
one of the kids just lights up a cigarette in the middle of the stadium and just like, what the fuck are you doing here?
And I'd rather those kids be smoking. I'm gonna be honest. These kids were just like getting like uncomfortably close to us. Like, it's one thing when it's like when you have opposing hockey fans there in your face that are college age and being idiots.
Yeah, I understand because like,
And because the second they touch you, that's when you get to do things. These are fucking kids.
right. Well, like one time when I went out to like an outdoor hockey rink, there's always kids there, and you know, like I was in the middle of nowhere, and it was like kind of like, for lack of a better word, kind of like redneck country, where it was like a bunch of country kids, and like you would see like middle schoolers come out on skates with their stick and puck, and then they would light up a cigarette with their friends in the fucking corner, and you'd just be like, all right, and then they just mouth off to you and say shit at you, and they were just fucking annoying.
I mean, you were probably really fucking annoying at one point too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like those kids,
It's annoying.
well, I mean, yeah, they were just really annoying.
It's the chain of being fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, I have so many stories I can tell about annoying kids. Honestly,
in the wise words of Pippin,
God-wise. Oh, sorry if I may interject, but honestly, this is not necessarily like a place that's affront to God, but it's more like on a principle level, I would say. Shitty parents, I would say, is kind of up there, in my opinion.
True.
Oh, you're taking the concept of affronts to God in a completely different direction.
Yes, which is a bit of a tangent, like I mentioned before, but I mean, look, man. Some of the things that I had to deal with, regardless of where I was, either land, water, or in the sky, it's just, oh my god.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure I have a couple gray hairs because of these incidences, but you know, you get used to it, right? Life will teach them, right?
there's probably some cases where like they're too young to like even realize what they're doing though.
we've come up with a new definition for affronts to God. Kids.
What's worse than a rapist? Boom, a child.
No.
What?
Have you not seen that clip?
No.
Oh my god! All right, Jonah, you're about to be educated.
Yeah, he'll pull it up, all right. But on the topic of affronts to God, I believe that the entirety of 4chan is an affront to God.
It will stand for something.
they,
I'm sorry, I can't say that seriously.
they stand for something, but half the time you don't even know what they stand for.
They stand for pointing out people who aren't them,
Yeah, that's
even
true.
though they are them.
Yeah,
but they're not.
It's a cesspool of shit posting and like. awkward threads or people just posting a whole lot of naked pictures of people.
Because you and me were lurkers of 4chan back when the internet wasn't as dark as it was now. But
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was dark in a much, I don't want to say a better way, but it
Less
was
social, I would say.
less social, more people like screaming into the abyss and then getting hit with a brick.
Yeah.
That's basically what describes what happens with like happened in 4chan back then.
And
And I forgot where I was going. Oh,
you tell the world your problems, and everyone tells you to go fuck yourself, and then they call you a couple racist words on their way out.
yeah. Oh, sorry. This is what I was getting to, and it's like, granted, they are the originator of memes, not actual like the idea of memes, but like
A lot of quality shit posts.
They're the ones who started it. It's their years before the mainstream media.
Yeah, and I mean, mainstream media sometimes catches wind of their shitpost memes, like, you know, the pool's closed one. That one's a really bad one.
I just always look back on the like the first. How do I say? I always knew people like on 4chan. And my friend, some of my friends in high school were, but like. People didn't talk about 4chan that much until like news broke about 8chan for the first time, and like how that was a monumental shit show. And so
I don't even know what 8chan is.
you don't want to know.
All right, let's just leave it at that. Then.
But only that's like basically take R9K and like all of like the Nazism and racism and just push that into basically its own tank.
Oh, that's awful.
With extreme social ineptitude, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're on 4chan posting, most of the time you don't have very much social aptitude.
Right, and like 8chan was its own thing, and not only that, like not only was the stuff Sherry talking about, but a lot more illegal stuff. Like there's already that on 4chan, but it was more so, and in doing so, they got themselves basically destroyed.
I mean, like. There are so many videos that have been posted on 4chan, and like if you just lurk on some threads, sometimes you'll see something that'll traumatize you.
Oh yeah, that happened to me.
Especially like when you're a kid, like you don't know what to expect. So like you're just kind of going through, and you're like, oh hey, what's a wrecked thread? And you start going through it, and you're like, oh boy, did I just see somebody's head get like clean cut?
Oh God,
I did.
Is that human toothpaste?
Oh God, no.
The few things I saw were like a girl. This one wasn't graphic, luckily, but like it was a girl riding in a car, and the car was going really fast. I believe it was on like what was the old like YouTube style website? I always forget the name of it. Live Leak. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
YouTube style.
Well, like Live Leak had like old YouTube with a big ass like YouTube logo in the right corner, like. And it looked very similar.
Okay.
Like it looked very similar to YouTube when Live Leak first came out.
Okay, in that sense, yeah.
You're aging yourself because early YouTube, it didn't have those, but I'm pretty sure Live Leak technically came after YouTube after the idea of it became viable.
I mean, that might be.
Yeah.
I just remember they both had it at that point in time. Like a lot of YouTube videos had the watermark of YouTube and like looking almost exactly the same as Live Leak. But anyways, the video was specifically like this girl was like hanging out of a car, and then you just see her like disappear outside of the car, and you're like, what happened? And in the description it says she got hit by a stop sign.
Oh my.
Yeah. And it's just like
where my poor Chinese steel farm worker enjoyers at.
We made like the work posts.
Oh.
Like work videos.
Yup.
Has anyone seen the video of the guy getting like he's in a workshop and this car is slowly pulling up and then just like rams right into him in the wall?
I think so.
It like the dude ends up actually being fine. Like he's not even injured, but like it's on YouTube. You can find it just straight up on YouTube. But it's like this. I think it's in Taiwan or something like that. And the guy's like sitting there working in a workshop, and this vehicle pulls up, like stops for a second, and then rams it, and like immediately just runs right into him, pinning him between the car and the wall. It's kind of funny because you hear the guy yell, and the guy ends up being all right, but it's a little fucked up.
Hey Ron, hey Billy, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you pull up every one of these videos we're talking about, by the way. Like, give it a real illustrated background. Get this video banned.
I'm okay.
You know what? Open up your Windows Explorer and just have at it. Go down these list of videos.
Bold of you to assume I use Windows Explorer.
Yeah, just...
It'll be a fun character. It'll be a fun character building exercise.
Also, Windows Explorer is dead. What you're insinuating is I go out and download the most notoriously bad internet browser onto my desktop and still fucking use it.
Yeah, that's the point.
Do it for the nostalgia.
God, no.
It has to be revived for like 5 minutes,
millisecond,
and then it won't know it's dead. It won't know it's dead until like 2025 or something.
You know what'd be really funny? If Microsoft is still running some servers for Microsoft Explorer, and they're not even aware that they have these servers up and running.
You take it over, and then
Yeah.
corrupt Microsoft Edge with it.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Just hack into Microsoft's system and just replace Microsoft Edge's logo with Windows Explorer.
Oh my god, that would be a hilarious April Fool's joke.
I would like...
That would be a fever dream of a...
I would, like, give Bill Gates, like, I would dap him up for, like, doing that, because that would be funny as fuck.
I don't want to touch Bill Gates, but that's for more of the Jeff Epstein stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the idea of, like, dapping up Bill Gates is the funniest fucking thing to me. Like, just this 80-year-old dude, and you're just like, hey, man.
The idea of tapping up Bill Gates is an affront to God.
Bit of a flex, not gonna lie. Bit of a flex.
How do you think he would react, just sitting there, like, with his hand out, like, what?
He'd
Probably be
pay
like,
somebody to
alright,
tell
cool,
you to
man,
fuck
and
off.
try to do it, and fuck it up, and
No.
just move on with his day, and not care.
In reality, his security, cartel or whatever would, like, tackle me to the ground and then shoot me.
Jesus Christ.
Another affront to God is massive corporations.
Oh, God.
We're gonna dive into it, boys.
What?
Want to hear? We could hear some dystopian stuff, We got the
Nestle
dystopian.
and water not being an essential resource for human life.
Yeah, that's one. Dasani is an affront to God.
Why, just
I'll
because
go
it
on.
tastes bad?
We'll do this tangent again. I don't give a shit. I'll do it every episode I'm in. I don't care. Dasani's terrible. It's awful. Just the worst. Taste awful, and it's probably not healthily sourced.
Eli, if this podcast ever gets successful and we, like, go on tour for it, I'm going to ask that every single, like, place that hosts us will only ever give us Dasani water.
Bring my own fucking water.
Well, did you know about the rock? There's a rock band, I forget which one it was, but they for any venue they would always ask that they would get a bowl of, like, peanut M&Ms in their room or whatever, and if they didn't get it, they would cancel their show. And the reason being is because it meant that they didn't read the rules for them. So we'll just do that, but with Eli and Dasani water.
Fucking hell.
Damn.
Really gonna do me like that, eh?
If you insist that we walk out because of that, I'm just gonna host the show.
You go out there
I'll
and
just be
talk
like,
to everybody.
Well, Jonah freaked out again. To our lawyers, you will be cut out of this one as well.
They just don't learn. They just don't read the rules.
They just don't. Well, like, it would be because, like, they had specific, like, requirements that they needed for the equipment and everything. And if, like, if they weren't, like, and it was a very famous band. It was, like, AC/DC or something like that. And if you don't get it right, like, either it was maybe more that they wouldn't perform, or like they wouldn't come back at the very least.
That makes sense.
That's like really common. So actually, like there was a famous performance that's like I can't remember what the album's called, but they were set to do like this live recording in like France of a concert of this well-known jazz pianist. His name is Keith Jarrett, and when they got there, the piano was not only not tuned,
Oh
it was
god.
in completely disrepair.
Oh, God.
I think I've heard this story.
That's insulting at that point. Wow.
This guy is also I want to say he's like more neurodivergent than anything. He's like kind of like has like his exact things that he does, and then like he's I think he's like, well, best way to describe it, he's probably somewhere on the spectrum because he needs to have things a certain way and he does things a very certain way because he knows what he'll get out of it because he's like also like a musical genius. And then it turns out his most famous album is that one because he made do with like a half out of tune piano and like it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. And he did that with a half-broken piano. So sometimes it breeds creativity. So what do they say? You get Dasani, you pour it out, and you ask for apples.
Well, see, no, like
Hey,
actually, I'm just going to use it as the excuse that it brings out Eli's creativity.
It really draws the worst part of me out. Like, I have a distinct physical reaction to drinking Dasani, and most of the time it involves me dumping it.
Is it as
And
bad as
filling
the
it.
time I asked you that one really cursed question when we were hanging out in Pippin's room playing, I think it was Super Mario Odyssey?
You gotta you gotta leave me a little
Are you
more.
your girlfriend's personal mayonnaise packet?
Oh, God.
Oh, I forgot about that. I
Still
wanted to forget
uncomfortable.
about that.
She brings
In
it
my
up every so
defense-
often.
In my defense, I did give you a warning. Like, hey, can I ask you a really cursed question? It's really bad. And you said, sure. Little did you know.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta hear those questions. Like, it really builds character.
It makes you question
Does
yourself
it?
in reality and if it was worth it all.
Yeah, she brings that up still every so often.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's not. It definitely kills the mood, but like, you know, it's not like while we're in the act of doing anything. It's just like, you know, we cuddling or whatever, and she's like, and she'll just turn over and be like, "You're my little mate." And not.
I hope to
You
God
should correct
one-
her. You should correct her saying, no, I'm ranch, not mayonnaise. Get it right.
I hope to God if you have children one day that somehow that comes up.
I'm gonna try to find a nickname for the children to relate that to mayo. or, like,
Sriracha, coleslaw, egg.
Yeah,
Ranch.
something of the sort. Be like, you're our egg salad.
Oh, God. I really don't like this joke anymore. This bit needs to
Delicious.
die. Fuck.
What? You're uncomfortable with kids being called egg salad?
In reference to, you're my little mayo packet. Fucking God.
Honestly, not the worst thing I've heard, but it's kind of funny.
This conversation is an affront to God.
Can I talk about an affront to God?
Of course.
I have a business in mind, and I'm sure we all have choice words about this fucking business, but I have some things against Disney.
All right.
Big mouse, yes.
I fucking, like, okay. For
Said a
a,
relatively unknown podcast takes down Disney. Let's go, boys.
bro, I swear to I will make it my life's goal to somehow become more well-known than Disney.
Is this our, like, David
Good
versus
fucking luck with
Goliath?
that.
I know,
style
I know, it's not
task?
gonna happen. My biggest issue with Disney right now is, okay, I'll admit I'm a little bit of a sucker for Disney content. Specifically, like, I'm a nerd. Like, I like Star Wars. I like Marvel, as you guys know. But recently, like, it's so bad. Like, anything that they put out recently has been pretty fucking trash. Like,
It has been.
the new Thor movie, like, this is how bad it is. Like, Disney was like, our new movies aren't doing that well. We're gonna re-release Spider-Man in theaters to make more money. Fuck
Oh my
you.
God.
Did they fucking really?
Yeah, I saw, or at least I saw an ad for it. They're re-releasing Spider-Man in select theaters.
That has the same energy as Sony manufacturing and trying to sell more PS4s during the PS5 shortage.
Yeah, like
That's also dumb.
it blows my mind, like, because She-Hulk. I watched the first episode. I haven't watched any other episodes because, like, I really like the Daredevil show, and like I've been keeping up with all of Marvel because I really liked Marvel for a really long time, and like Moon Knight was good. Some other shows were good, but like
Visual
She-Hulk.
effects are half-assed for that show.
I wouldn't even say that because Hulk looks fine. To me, it's more so like if you look into like CGI and things like that, which I kind of have, it like specifically it looks like what they tried to do for She-Hulk is because I guess the better term for it is Mark Ruffalo is a little bit older and he has a lot more hair on his body, so they add all those things to Hulk to make him look more realistic. But what they did for She-Hulk is they didn't add any of that because they tried to make her like, smoother skin, like not a lot of hair, and in doing so, it lost a lot of that realness for the audience. At least I saw an analyzation on it, like it kind of made sense, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. I'm not an expert. But like it felt so campy and like maybe I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of She-Hulk, and I never read the comics, so like, but that and the new Thor movie was pretty fucking bad too.
Yeah, her as a character in the comics is actually really compelling to like watch and read about. But like all the advertisements I've seen for this show particularly have just not really evoked any like confidence in the ability of the writers of the show.
Well,
and then like even for me, like the visual effects of Marvel movies and TV shows have become very half-assed. Like it's been getting worse and worse. I think the best they've had recently was Spider-Man and Moon Knight.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know.
Doctor Strange was not a bad movie either. The new one.
No.
Doctor Strange wasn't terrible, but there's just a couple moments in it that are really half-assed. Like that third eyeball thing, that was so bad. I was like, that is ugly. Why would they do that?
Mm-hmm. What like it looked reminiscent of a lot of like, well, I wouldn't even say that. Like there was a lot of elements of Sam Raimi's stuff in there, but like that wasn't really one of them. But like I don't know, I just watching like the new Thor movie, I really disliked it. Even Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was okay. Black Widow fucking sucked. But like my issue with the first She-Hulk movie was just kind of the issue I've had with like the way Marvel's treated Hulk for just a really long time and treat him like a joke rather than like a strong, powerful, like interesting character. Like it
changed his actor and didn't address it.
Well, like in Endgame, my biggest issue with Endgame, like I don't like Endgame that much. I think it's okay. Like I think the ending's kind of neat and like a lot of parts of it are really cool. But like Hulk in Endgame and Thor for that matter, they treat it like some big fucking joke when it's should be a super serious like moment. And like you can argue that Hulk doing the snap and everything is cool, but like nothing else is really that interesting about it, and they turn him into a joke, and I just didn't like it.
Yeah, it's completely against the lines of the comics too. Like, even in the comic books, when he was angry like that, like he still, and like, or even like when they work together, where Bruce is in control of the body and of Hulk and stuff. Even then, he still had a level of anger, and like he couldn't control that. Like he wasn't just completely fine. He was still always angry and always growing in power because of the anger. Like the World Breaker Hulk from the comic lines, he legit like could destroy planets because he was so angry and because Bruce was in control.
Yeah, like I don't know. I always think back. Like one of my favorite music artists was like Donald Glover, and like. I remember a quote that he always says is like he always believes something should be finite, like everything should have an end. And it's one of the reasons why he left Community. It's one of the reasons why like he stopped doing comedy and like why he's probably going to end his music career and hasn't really put out a ton of music. Like, and I think Disney is starting to reach that limit to me with Marvel specifically, and even Star Wars, because Star Wars is really starting to piss me off.
I think it's just in general they have like they don't have any good stories.
Saturation of the market.
Yeah, there's so much. They don't have good stories to tell for Marvel. They don't have good stories to tell for Disney, like just regular Disney stuff in general. And like Star Wars is oversaturated now. It's like you have so much out there, and you don't need to develop any new IPs. You don't need to make sequels for anything. They could probably just milk the money they have right now.
Yeah.
But they want more, so they're going to keep releasing product because there's people that are always going to consume that content.
Well, it doesn't help that they own like 70% of like the entertainment industry at this point.
Yeah, so like they basically control all the content that we could consume, and it sucks.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest ones I think in the future, like I think YouTube is going to end up being one of the biggest content creation platforms, just in general. Like I really
It's already the biggest and most important.
well, yes, but I think like how do I say it's doing it the best as of right now? Because if you look at Netflix,
That's some great content creators, and they're not happy right now.
Well,
Yeah.
well, yes, but like I'm not even talking about just content. I'm talking about like the how do I say not content creators like in the traditional sense. I'm talking about TV, movies, media, things like that. If you look at like Netflix, Disney Plus, and like Paramount Plus and all that shit, YouTube is doing the best out of all of them. And the reason being is because it costs them literally nothing to create. They just put it on their platform, and that costs them nothing at the moment. And
It's sort of the way the social media makes money. It's you are platforming people who otherwise wouldn't have a platform. It's basically allowing Gem to stand up and scream into the abyss and abuse us in D&D campaigns.
yeah, well, like, what was it? Like Netflix is hemorrhaging cash right now, and like,
It's actually not. It's just not growing.
I mean, from what I've seen on the market and everything like that, like Netflix has been losing money for like I don't know about right this month, but like the last couple months or so, they've been losing money.
No. Their stock is going down because they are not experiencing the growth they have been.
Well, right.
They're the same size. They have the same amount of revenue, and they lost 1 million subscribers, but they also have hundreds of million subscribers.
Well, I mean,
It's less than 1% of people who left. They're not losing any money. They sort of have met their threshold. I'm not saying their content is the best, but they've reached their current kind of their how big the company can get, and now they're basically market adjusting, for lack of a better word.
I mean, but how do I say losing those subscribers and everything like that, and losing what I believe it's 25% they dropped in 2022. To me, that's losing money by all terms of. But I digress. Anyways, the thing is that Netflix is in a bind right now because they don't know how to get themselves out of it, because they're at least from my perspective, it seems like they're finding out that one, they're sinking money into a lot of content that isn't profitable for them, and then also I would say raising their rates hasn't helped. But then you also look at the side of things where people are looking to watch ads rather than take that pay increase. So it's really interesting. I don't know. I just think it's really kind of interesting and cool to see what's going on in that aspect.
I mean, them as a company, they're trying to maintain with the rate of inflation, but I think the price increase isn't justified because they're not doing anything to make the platform better. They're not adding a whole load of new shows. They're just same stuff.
Technically, I guess they have been by definition. Some of the new things that they're rolling out is apps. For some dumb fucking reason, they're let's put games to our new TV shows and stuff like that. And I can't talk about it because I signed an NDA, but I used to do stuff for a company that kind of fell into certain things similarly, but one of the things with it was like there's that, and then they are putting out new TV shows. Whether or not it's enough, that's not for me to say.
Yeah,
Well,
the
this topic has been thoroughly explored, and we can always come back to it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, now we're going to get to maybe a more personal topic.
Oh no.
We all have video games that hit us in a way that we can't describe. That can't be done in the other media. That cause like an overwhelming sense of emotion. That it just kind of pours out of you. Sometimes out of your eyeballs. In the form of tears. What I want to talk about is what games made you cry like a little bitch?
Ah, fuck. I don't like this question.
I got the first one right away. It's easy for me. It was Nier Automata.
Yeah, that was going to be my first answer.
Because literally, Nier Automata was a very emotional experience because, like...
One second. Just, if you're going to talk about spoilers, at least announce it beforehand.
Yeah, sure. Spoiler for a game that's X amount of years old.
Now.
Yeah, but it's still spoilers because they just released like the whole re-release of it. So I guess there's probably some new people who will probably be introduced.
It's just a nice thing to do for people that haven't played it or looking to get into it. You know.
Yeah, they've had enough time to now skip ahead through the speech a certain amount of time later, and yeah, so you see like the whole development of these characters, like from like their normal lives that they're used to at this point to this whole messed up scenario where like everything they knew is gone and all they have is each other, but they have to fight each other because their ideals oppose one another. And because of that, you just end up having to deal with the consequences of one character going too far, one way or another. And then after that, the end of the game happens, where the game forces you to be like, do you want to give these guys a happier ending? Like, do you want to do that? If you do, like, delete your save file. And you're like, oh. I didn't want to delete my save file. But you know what? I had to get the full ending.
God damn it!
And,
I never got to beat Nier Automata.
Yeah, you get to
I'm going to be completely honest with you. We can tell you exactly what happened.
No, that's all right, man. I have it on Steam.
No, what I was going to say is we can tell you what happens.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of the very few games that like I have no kind of like where you find characters that that empathize with us, like that you find the person that's basically you in the game. Nier kind of has that for most people, but it does not. Like, you will not be in 2B or A2's or 9S's shoes exactly, because they're these kind of like esoteric characters. You can be a part of them, but it's the story that you, and the journey that you go along with them as basically, well, for lack of a better term, it causes like almost an existential dread of like what's going to happen here. And by the time you get to that end, by the time you get to ending E, you've watched several of your characters die. Mm-hmm. Just like start over, game over. This is like you've died a lot by this point. And you're like 40, 50. I think for me it was like 60 because I'm a little bit slower gamer than Mr. Eli here. And then you get to that point where it's like, it's sort of like when you refuse to delete a save simply because you're proud of the effort that you went into. Like, you have like another save file where you do whatever and you like blast through the game in 10 hours. But Nier's not like that. You're so committed to this file that you've been accessing the entire game. And then you give it up. And it's the right answer.
Yeah.
It's worth every second of it.
But not only do you give up just a save file, you give up all save files that are on that account. The entirety of your game is wiped. There's no chance for you to have a backup. The game is basically wiped back to a clean slate. It's like you're booting up fresh once again.
I would
one
move it
change.
to another hard drive.
There is one change that happens, and it doesn't affect the game.
It's just the title screen. That's all.
It's the title screen changes,
Oh God, that reminds me of a game.
and that makes you cry a second time.
Oh
because
yeah,
you're like,
yeah. I
because
know.
you start over. Because you're like, I want to experience this again. Because I don't know if you guys have played the game over again, but I've played it probably 3 times fully through, and I think I'm on my 4th run technically, and I've stepped away from it for a while because I was kind of obsessed with another game that made me cry. But it hits me the same way every time. Like, and sometimes it hits me harder than like the time before, because like even though like it's an easy decision, it's still like really really hard.
Yeah, it hurts, especially if you've like grinded up to have all 26 endings.
It hurt just right, eh?
Well, the 25th ending is hard.
Yeah. If you could get to that 25th ending, like you've put a lot of time into the game because you've leveled every weapon up to its maximum level. You've done all the side quests. You've collected just every item that you could,
You
and
grinded for hours.
That's
50
basically
hours.
MGS. Me and MGS 5.
yep. And
Yeah,
then
like, MGS feels like you're rewarded every single time.
Yeah.
It's just RNG
Mm-hmm.
per year.
Yeah.
yep.
Grinding. You know all the combos, you hit them flawlessly, and it still takes you a second per enemy, and you might not get what you want, and then you gotta find another one.
I have a game that's kind of in a similar idea to like the whole thing with the changing screen, and I have a few games to talk about, but I'll keep this one the main one, and then the others brief. But for
Is
me,
this game Elden Ring? Is this game Elden Ring?
No, that game made me cry out of fucking rage. No, I'm joking. I finally beat Elden Ring. That's the good news.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It only took me how many months? A broken PC and. But anyways, have any of you guys beaten Final Fantasy 15?
I have not.
All right.
I've heard you tell me what the story of the ending is.
I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of Final Fantasy 15. All right. So the ending of Final Fantasy 15 is you, you and your bros. This is basically bros boy trip the entire time, and then you find out dad's dead and the whole fucking kingdom is falling apart. So and then you go to war against the people that did it. Is the idea, and it's you just camping with your boys trying to get to your princess, basically, is the idea. And like, I know some people don't like Final Fantasy 15. I enjoyed it. I thought the story was really compelling, and that's what kept me in it. And also the world. But like, at the end, everyone's like, how do I say? Like, there's a time skip. And right at the time skip, like, you sit around at the campfire for one last time, and like, you all talk, and they all say something, it cuts off, and then they go to like do this final battle. And as you enter in to do the final battle with the final boss, all your friends stay behind to keep the room guarded, and you know that they're not gonna survive. And you're just like, I spent 80 hours with them. And then like that happens, you watch the main character die, you watch his like the girlfriend die basically or whatever. And then, like, at the end of it, like, the end credits roll, and then you get to see, like, him in the afterlife with all his buddies, and then get to see what he said at the final campsite. And it was basically, I love you to all his friends. And then the fucking title screen changes, and it's, like, a big dramatic drawing in the Final Fantasy style of him and his wife, because the whole thing was they're going on their bachelor trip to go to his wedding, and in the afterlife they're in the wedding. And it's just like, fuck, man.
Pain.
That game fucked me up, and it didn't help me that the next game I beat after that was The Last Guardian. And I love that game. I have the collector's edition for it. That game also made me cry. And then one part from Gears of War made me cry. And I'm going to spoil Gears of War, and that's Dom's death.
I thought Maria's death was way worse.
I don't know, man. I liked Dom a lot as a character.
I liked Dom too, but his wife dying, I think, was the point where he actually died.
I mean, that's fair. I just still sucked to see him.
He had to shoot her, man. Like that scene. Like for a game about.
There's a difference. He had to put her down.
Yeah. But like,
I played those games too young. I was like 8 years old when I played the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it was the second one.
A bunch of meatheads running around with chainsaws on their guns. That was like a massively emotional moment there.
When Ty killed himself, I died. Part of me died rough. That day. Then, okay, there's one more game. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I cried during the first one. I probably cried during the second one out of anger and, like, grief. Was the Last of Us series. I was so, like... I was angry at the second one. The second one's not great, in my opinion. The first one's one of my favorite fucking games, and I don't remember if I cried or not, but the beginning of that game is rough. And then, like, part 2, I probably cried at the beginning of it, just because I was so upset. Like, because for anyone that doesn't know in The Last of Us 2, spoilers, like, Joel fucking dies. He gets his head caved in with a fucking golf club. And, like, he's your favorite character, at least he was for me, and I just watched my boy fucking get murked. And I was sad. Do you want to know what was the worst part about that game? For me, because, like, in the past I've built my own guitars, like, and stuff like that, or at least worked on them. Like, walking in to his house as Ellie after he dies and seeing all the half-worked-on guitars in his house, and to me, I was like, why are you showing me this now?
You know what game really hurt the feelings? It was a game called... No, it was a game called To the Moon.
Oh my god, I forgot about To the Moon.
I think I've heard about that game. Wasn't that a RPG Maker game?
Yeah.
It was an RPG Maker game where two doctors travel through a dying man's mind and basically fulfill his lifelong dream of flying to the moon. And they basically did it in such a way that despite his choices in life, he still ended up getting married to the person that he loved and was able to go to the moon with her rather than living a sad life on Earth like he had.
Yeah.
And it fucking, like, the whole story of it as it's building up, it's, like, really crushing your heart the entire time. And, like, at the end, when he finally gets what he wants, and then he dies, it's like, ugh.
Well, like, also just that twist where you think it's not going to go the way you think. And, like, then it does, thankfully. But, like...
he's like, his memory is just about to be erased about his wife, and then they show them together on the ship.
Yeah. It was a really creative game.
Very.
The one game that really hit me hard was a very simple game. The premise was quite simple, actually. You play as this lady who's just going through her daily life. The town that she's living in is kind of going through a bit of a upheaval of sorts. There's some civil unrest, but your job is simple, go to the bar that you work at, make rent, and, whatever happens, happens. What I didn't expect was to be hit with all of these characters and emotions and all of these wrong decisions that these characters have made up until this point and haven't really talked about it in casual conversation, and some of those having some real, well, it felt real, I guess, since it's a game, realistic or believable reactions and how it all played out. What is the most surprising is the fact that this is a fucking light novel on Steam, of all things.
Yeah.
The only anime game I have in my library, by the way.
I'm actually going to buy this game because I know what game you're talking about. It's the Valhalla. It is
Valhalla. Go buy it. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
the fact that its premise is so simple, yet all the things that the protagonist goes through, and I mean by proxy, you as the player, is just I don't know, man. It felt like this weird therapy session that I didn't really sign up for, nor I needed it. I guess it was good. It was good. Jill, best girl, by the way. Fight me.
And the soundtrack for it was pretty good too.
Oh yes.
What is the name of this game?
Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action.
Oh, interesting.
It is pixelated, or kind of pixely, but it is quite nice to look at, in my opinion.
I started looking it up on Steam just because I was curious, and the first one I clicked on was Valhalla Awakening of Valkyrie.
Not that one. Like,
yeah. Does anyone know what that game is?
I don't know. I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. But
Wait, did I grab the wrong one?
It's a Candy Crush.
No, that's the correct one, Eli.
It's a Candy Crush game with a bunch of lewd anime girls on it. And I went, Jim, what are you? No. It's not that. I believe Honey Pop is like a shooter, but
no, not even close.
Not even close.
Dude.
It's a puzzle Candy Crush game that has hentai in it.
Wait, which one is the one where like you go around shooting like girls with like a heart gun or whatever? I don't know. There's another game in that vein that's very similar.
Regardless.
Anyways, off topic.
The more recent game that I played that really made me emotional was one of the endings that I got in Cyberpunk 2077, because of just how relatable it was to me. Obviously, not to that extent, was obviously a bit exaggerated with with what we're going through and what's going on in the game. But when you keep into consideration of all the things that the game itself went through, the company went through, and the things that your character goes through throughout the game, and that ending you get is just, oh my god, that really messed me up. I can go into more details if you guys don't mind it being spoiled about the ending, but
I mean, to be fair, I'm probably not going to play it, but if Eli's going to get it, then I wouldn't.
It's a good game. Would recommend.
I think at some point I'm going to pick it up, but that's like future down the line thing.
That's fine. But I'll give you one hint. I stuck with Pan Am and got her ending. And that was like, damn. Why is this game about to make me cry, bro? What is going on here? Why is this so relatable? Damn.
Video games like to emotionally scar you.
It is what it is.
I have a question for people.
What's up?
In the same vein of question, has anybody had movies that have made them cry?
Dog's Life.
Really? That movie made you cry? Okay. I haven't seen it. I've been told by a few different people that it's a little sad. I know one that made me bawl like a fucking baby.
I did one more video game that made me cry.
Oh yeah.
And that was the New Horizon game.
Oh god.
So this one's actually like real spoilers because the game is relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the companion that makes Aloy, the main character, come out of her shell, dies 3 missions before, or three quests before the final one.
Oh my god, he died?
You're not expecting it. You're like riding this high of like, hey, I'm doing this. And like I took the door, I'm like, we might do it. And then they didn't. And then they killed somebody. And that's like the one I was least suspecting. I'm
like, hey, yo, what the shit?
I just like in the background, Eli is just like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I was like, he died? Oh my god. I'm not gonna play the game, but shit. I watched you play it, and I was attached to that character. That sucks.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2. The character fucking died.
I'm just gonna draw a shitty little drawing and put that up as just like a little PS4 box and fucking dies scribbled on it.
The thing is, it's like, you get so, like, it's weird. Horizon, I think, in this game did an incredible job of, like, getting you incredibly attached to these characters. Like, all of Aloy's companions. And then, like, Varro, who's, like, the one person who was in, like, the first game, one of the very few people that was in the first game, that's been there and basically helped Aloy not be just like this brooding loner. And then when he's killed, when they're trying to unite Gaia with Hephaestus, it hits you hard, and you're like, "What the fuck?" I was like really sad. What did me and what caused me to just, and I can actually say this. So I was house sitting that weekend, and I was at someone else's house when this happened, and I'm like crying, and like this just happens, and I'm like, I can't believe they just killed him. And then you get back to the base, and then his girlfriend calls you outside to where like there used to be a garden, and tells them about like that they would like garden together here and like talk about stories, and then you turn around and this new place is his grave. And then she explains the reason. That's like, hey, he would have wanted this facing the Norse sacred lands, but it's also overseeing the eternal lands too. And then I'm like, no, and then her name's Zoe starts singing, and I'm just like, then my eyes just started like, shh. And it's like for a waterfall moment, and I'm like, it's so beautiful. The miss you, man. Varl, you're great. You son of a bitch.
You want to know
what I didn't expect was the second time because I'm almost through my second playthrough, is that I cried again in the same spot.
Oh,
it hurts more the second time.
Bro, I rewatched The Last of Us.
Making sure I was getting every like verbal tree I could, because I'm like, I just want to appreciate you before you're gone.
Every time I've touched The Last of Us 2 a few times just because the gameplay is tight, and I've seen certain clips of it again. Every time I watch Joel die, a part of me like just dies inside again when I watch it. It hurts me. You want to know what's one game that made me cry tears of joy?
What?
Skyward Sword when Fee fucking died.
Really?
No, not really.
She didn't die. She just locked in the sword forever.
Yeah. No, I was just happy that bitch was gone.
Oh, it's tears of relief.
Yes, tears of joy. Like, I was so fucking... I was like, she's fucking gone, let's go!
Let's go!
God. God damn.
Let's go back to the topic we were discussing next, which is movies and or shows that have made you cry.
I know one for Sherry. I have one that I always bring up.
Angel Beats made me cry. That was an anime. It basically, like, the whole thing of it is that they all died and they're in heaven, basically, or not in heaven, but they're like in a purgatory because they had some unfinished business in life.
Damn,
and
spoilers.
The whole, it's not a spoiler. You find out like immediately that they're all dead, so like it's not really a spoiler. And this anime is like 12 years old at this point.
Yeah, I know. I was giving you shit.
But like, basically the whole goal of the main character after he finds out that a way to get people to leave, because they're all basically stuck in a never-ending loop of high school where like they can't die, and there's somebody that's trying to like, you know, quote unquote kill them, but they're not really. You know, they're just trying to help these people move on. And essentially the main character figures out that the only way for somebody to move on is to reach that level of fulfillment that they had while that they wanted rather while they were alive. So like, you know, everyone gets to achieve their great dreams. So like this group of people, they all want to be famous musicians, and they perform one giant concert for everybody, and then they disappear. And it's like really emotional moment. And then like, or this guy, he wanted to be a professional baseball player, and he basically led his team to like an extreme, like overwhelming victory, and then he disappeared too. Like it was just one thing after another, and like it was really great moments for the characters that let them develop, and then at certain points, like the story really hits you because it shows what their life was like before they died.
But also that you're like, now they're actually gone.
Yep.
Yeah, for me that was Gurren Lagann. That show made me fucking cry.
Rip Kamina.
It wasn't even like, how do I say it? I had Kamina spoiled for me, so like that hit me and it made me sad. Yeah, like, but it's when I still watched it, I was like, fuck man, I'm sad he's dead. What actually got me, and this is another spoiler for Gurren Lagann, is what's his name's death at the end of the series. He's like my favorite character in that.
Oh wait, are you talking about the dude who operates
Star
the
Mech.
star-shaped one?
Yeah, that dude, Keaton.
Not gonna lie, he was a bit of a prick, but that ending, damn.
He was
Homie had a glow up of a lifetime in like 2 minutes.
I relate to Keaton so fucking much, just in general. Like,
Bit of an ass, but
am I not an ass, Jim?
I mean that's a matter of perspective.
That's fair.
Sometimes just a little bitch.
Yeah, a little pee-pee piss boy.
That's your interpretation. I'll leave that up to
I
you.
just think it's funny. I just like that bit a lot. Sherry?
I had one that made me cry recently. You can tell the one about me.
I was just gonna say, do we want to talk about Arcane?
Okay, so I'll give a little bit of preface for this. So I was kind of like everyone else who has a sane brain when they hear League of Legends.
Yeah.
Just played a little bit.
Yep.
But you're like, there's lore, and I'm like, this series can't possibly be this good. So I ignored it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And then,
yeah.
And then I think then Pippin and you started watching in the living room in the house.
What happened was Pippin, like, Arcane, how do I say, I heard League of Legends and I went, you, gross, no, get away. And basically, Pippin came to me after Christmas break, I think. And he started talking, like, and some other people in our house had watched it and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then Pippin came to me, he's like, hey, you want to watch Arcane? And I'd just gotten back early from Christmas break, and I was just chilling around building my new Lego set. And I was like, fuck it, I got nothing better to do. And we watched it in like 2 or 3 days. We just sat in the couch like at the same time every day, and Sherry would get in from work, school, or whatever he was doing, and he'd miss big chunks of that show. And he got in, I forget at which part, but like you watched it, and I just look over, and like it's night out, and I just see Sherry's face lit by the TV screen and tears coming down his face. I'm like, are you crying right now? And he's just like, shut up.
You see, I'm an emotional person, but like, it takes a lot for like a show to make me cry, because I see a lot of them, and now that I've started actually diving in the world of anime, I notice myself getting emotional more.
Yeah, it's weird how that works. I don't understand it fully.
It's because American writers don't write like the Japanese do.
That's true, yeah.
Or at least in recent times, yeah.
I would also just say, like, you get attached to, like, you have more time to get attached to these characters.
Like, another one, Comey Can't Communicate. It's a really wholesome TV show. It doesn't really make you sad, but, like, it gets you into feels because, like...
Everyone talks about Comey Can't Communicate, and, like, talks about it like it's God.
It's not God, but, like, it's not... Okay, so, like, it's a pretty typical, like, you know, slice of life anime with weird shit happening all the time. But, like, for me, it just, like, sits right in the heart, because, like, it's just, there's a lot of cute moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it relatable, Eli?
I'm not socially awkward, so no.
Oh, fuck. God damn it, why do you have to call me out like that?
But it just... I don't know. It sits different when you watch it, and like, it's not for everybody. I understand that, but I thought it was pretty good.
There was a show that was similar. Oh, A Silent Voice. It didn't make me cry, but Silent Voice is fucking dark. Well, it's not. It's very slice of life, but then there's like a little bit of stuff at the end, and it's just like it can be sad at times, and it just is like holy shit. trying to think.
I know Attack on Titan like got me really emotional. It didn't get me crying emotional, but it was like I just got to the point of damn you, Aaron Yeager.
It got you fucked up. That's what it got you.
Wait. What part are you at?
He's
I
caught
have
up all the way.
7 to 10 episodes left of the season 4 part 2, and I'm like in the young one, and I can't remember
Mikasa.
so Gabi just got
Oh.
rescued.
Yeah.
And the episode right before that, Aaron had basically his coming out moment, and you're like, and this is probably season. Well, let's be real. Season 4, no matter what part, it's sad.
Yeah, season 4 is like Attack on Titan. All of Attack on Titan is sad. It's sad the show, dude. Like everyone just.
I know, but they escalated in season 4 so well, and then you're like, man, they're making me feel bad for these guys. And then like and the worst part is, as you're coming to, there isn't a solution that will fit any of these people's goals, and then you were like, oh. And then when you realize there's no solution, and then you're looking at the solutions on the table, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So good.
I've read it all, so I know the ending, and I'm not going to say anything, but like,
It was spoiled for me. I accidentally read it.
oh,
yeah.
well, I'm
The end
still. I'm still not going to talk about it that much, but like the ending's really interesting. Like I like the ending. Some people hate the ending. I think it's really, really fucking good.
I only know like a little bit of the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I know that basically Mikasa does.
Oh yeah. That's the big one.
And I'm like, she had to.
There's a lot more to it that's really cool, in my opinion.
Then there's a whole slave thing with her, which really fucked me up. That's like, these are a series of gut punches.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron might be so strong.
Aaron, like, I still like Aaron a lot, even though he does atrocious shit. Like, Aaron's a cool character.
He's a very interesting character for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And a relatively obscure anime that I found recently, that I also finished, caused me to cry at the end. And not for the reason I was expecting.
Oh no.
So it's you might actually know this, Gem. It's called The Future Diary.
Oh god. Yeah, I know that one. Yep.
I'm not the only person on the face of the earth that knows that anime.
I've heard of it.
I've seen a couple episodes of it. It's kind of fucked up.
Oh, it's like a general level of like kind of fucked up. And then they it's only like 27 episodes long. Like that's the entire series. And you like start noticing certain things and you're like, holy shit. That was rape. And or sorry, you can block that out, Jonah. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say rape.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure. I'll probably ask you guys at the end of the episode how we feel about it.
You want to just wing it and see what happens?
I mean, I don't think it'll get... If it gets flagged, like, nothing that bad will happen. It's just more so, like... I know it's, like, it can be, like, a triggering thing for some people to even just... It's a sensitive topic. And, like, I don't think it's the worst thing to say, but, like, I don't know. It's not my place to say.
Sexual harassment of the extreme kind.
Let's do that from now on.
It's like sexual abuse, but not like it's weird because it's not necessarily a sexual show in the weird way, because there's a lot of things that are kind of like you're like, is this show basically all about sex? And you're like, no, not really, but yes.
That's God. There's certain manga I've read or anime that I've watched, and this manga like specifically is just really, really good, but it's also really fucked up. So if I describe any of it to anybody, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that does happen. That happens too." And they just look at me like, "You read this shit?" And I'm like, "It's good. It's good.
I'll do it again.
I'll do it again."
I'll do it again.
someone gets dicked down by a horse, it's fine. Almost, yes.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
It's really important to note that.
Anyways, the lead character basically he makes certain decisions that like are really profound given his circumstance. That you're like really are like this person's finally getting it, and then you get to like the last like 5 episodes, and they hit you like a train because it's already not a happy anime. You have good moments where you feel good, but you're more like in it for the story, and then the friends die, and then you find out the truth.
I really.
And it, like,
yeah.
And it shatters you because basically his goal was that he was going to bring everyone back that he had killed, and then the person that he was trusting to help him win win the game that they're playing was lying to him the entire time.
Oh yeah, she'd already won.
Yeah. When first finds out that second had won already, it's like it gets a little happier towards the end because when ninth gets involved, but it's like you still like at the end when his world comes back to relative normal or peace, like not falling out of existence. You have first sitting there alone with Murmur, his timeline's Murmur, and he's just like sad. And he was like, and they spent like 1,000 years like just like being sad,
mega depressed,
and then like that was like the second that was the second time I cried from that.
Yeah, I think they should have left the ending there. Personally, I think they shouldn't have done what they did next.
Lately someone recommended to me Psycho Pass, and I really want to watch Psycho Pass, but I don't know too much about it. I've just heard it's good.
I saw that on Hulu. I've been actually watching a lot of my stuff on Hulu lately.
The premise is really fucked up.
One more for me, Steins Gate.
I hate that show.
It's a slow burn.
Okay.
It's a very slow burn.
I got to episode 13, and like I couldn't watch anymore. It was boring as fuck. I don't know.
You just got to the good part, man.
It was boring as fuck. Like
you were literally one episode away from the fucking twist.
But like, if it's 13 episodes, like
it's building up. It's a whole thing where they're giving you all the details that build up to the moment.
Okay.
Where things change.
But like, how do I say, Eli? I don't necessarily disagree with you. Like. But if it takes me 13 episodes to sit there and like I hate all the characters, I'm very confused as to what's going on. Like none of it like is appealing to me. Like
I mean, I guess if you have no investment in the characters, then I can understand why.
The main character was just really annoying to me.
It's with a purpose.
I mean, yeah, sure.
He's covering for his own insecurities.
I mean, like. I mean, I kind of figured that out from the beginning, but, like, I don't know. That show to me just didn't speak to me. But
it's very confusing for a reason because things get fucked up after that.
And I've heard that. Like, I've heard that it's just, like, I couldn't keep watching it. I don't know. I've tried twice to get into it. I watched the first...
That was another TV show I cried at. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the first 10 episodes the first time I tried watching it. I watched it a second time, got to episode like 13 or something like that, and just went, I don't think this show is for me, and like was officially done with it.
Code Geass was a gut punch and a half, bro.
Code Geass was good when I watched it, but I watched it in middle school, so I don't remember.
I remember watching going, oh no, don't do the thing! You did the thing! Oh god, no! Oh shit!
Yeah.
It just went from... Oh, this is kind of just... Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, it's gonna get... Oh, it got worse. Oh,
yeah.
Control.
Dude, fucking... That ending, though, is... Like, how do I say? Like, Code Geass... Yeah, like, Code Geass has it... When it's low, it's really bad. But when it's good, it's, like, really fucking good.
Yup.
I'm just sad the movie got canceled or what. I don't remember what happened to the movie.
The other manga that I remember reading that made me quite emotional was called Planet, where you see basically takes place in the future where the main the protagonist that you follow along is a crew of this like some sort of like orbit salvage team, if I remember correctly, where their job is very risky because of all these years of debris collecting over the orbit. Someone has to go there and either salvage what they can or push things out of the way so that they won't cause any problem. And you basically see this character just be this, kind of an asshole, mildly narcissistic, and slowly over time you see him just change and influence those around him to either pursue their dreams or talk them out of potentially bad decisions in a very oddly eloquent way. It was really good. Would recommend. It is a bit of a slow burn, so I don't think it's for everyone, but it's good. It's really good.
I really liked Erased. Erased was good, but the ending was a little
Aiju was just wild.
Yeah.
That show was just went off and it just went for it. Or the manga, I didn't watch the anime. Oh shit! What was the name of this one story? I'm trying to remember. Oh shit!
What's it about?
Hold on. It's a bit of an obscure title because I think it's based on a light novel. Let me see if I can find it.
There's so many manga I want to read. I want to try and do Blame again because I've only read 2 chapters, but I need to get back into it.
Blame is really good, but it's really messy because of the amount of chaos that's going on in the story, and sometimes the art style is very difficult to read.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. The reason why I'm uncertain of whether it's intentional or not is because there's so much going on and that you're not really exposed to, or that's not explained to you. That's just how it is. That you as the reader just are in this essentially this roller coaster ride of our job is simple: find the MacGuffin, find the thing. So if that's the case, why the fuck are we fighting against these weird cybernetically augmented quote unquote people with this weird ass railgun pistol thing that just demolishes everyone? How come he's okay? How come this is going on? What the fuck's going on the planet? What the shit's a building? You have all these questions and none of those are answered.
I just remembered I have a show that made me cry, and that was Game of Thrones. And I want to talk about Game of Thrones for a bit, if that's okay with people.
How much time do we have?
Jonah, this podcast isn't a Game of Thrones podcast. Remember, we're talking about that spinoff in year 3.
I haven't seen the spinoff yet, and I don't know if I ever will.
Jonah.
I found the name of it.
That was a joke.
Go.
Jonah, I'm saying our spinoff podcast.
Oh, gotcha. I'm down to have a Game of Thrones spinoff podcast.
Here's one that's kind of a low blow for me and Eli. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh wait.
Oh god, man.
Wait, before we continue on to this topic,
I cried like a baby.
Jem, wait. What was the name of the show for people? What was the name of the anime that you were talking about?
What anime?
You just said you found it. The show.
It's not an anime. It's a manga. So the name is I'm a Villainous Daughter, so I'm going to keep the last boss. But let's translate.
Okay.
It is a bit out there. I'll be honest. It's kind of out there, but it's really short and sweet. It only has 13 chapters.
We stopped talking about Grey's Anatomy for this.
It's really good because you see a female protagonist who's basically on her deathbed in a hospital, who somehow gets transported into this I think in Japan they refer to this as an otoma game. Essentially, it's like a dating game but for women, where they're where instead of as guys I'm gonna get this girl's ending and that girl's ending, it's the same thing but with their genders being flipped, right? Now she knows everything in this game through and through. However, But she doesn't realize that she's been shoved into the roles of the main antagonist of the whole game, and if she doesn't figure out a way to change the course of the game, she's going to get killed. And so, in order to do that, she says, you know what? If I'm already the villainous daughter of this whole like weird fantasy setting, fuck it. I'm gonna see if I can seduce the demon lord and just goes to him. It is really entertaining and short and sweet. Would highly recommend reading it.
Interesting.
It's good. The art style is very pretty too.
To Grey's Anatomy.
Oh god.
Oh god.
The fucking plane crash, bro. Goddamn.
That was an
Oh,
emotional moment.
I never
That was like the
watched
worst
that.
year of those characters' lives. Cause like,
Yup.
legit, they went through a fucking hospital shooting, a plane crash. Many of their like doctors just fucking died.
Yep.
God just looked at that hospital and said, "Fuck you."
No.
And people still go there for healthcare. It's like, how could you want to go there? There's so many deaths there.
Well, I think it plays the odds in a way. Your doctor's more likely to die than you are.
Bro, they don't ask for health insurance. That's probably why.
Shonda Rhimes is just like, you know what? That character has had a little too much screen time recently.
Fuck you.
Fuck him up.
Literally
Fuck
the
'em
George R.
up.
Martin of sitcoms. Just, oh, you're having fun? Alright, shithead. Finna die.
Yeah. Basically,
As non-Meredith Grey, you're dead.
oh, that's becoming not the case now. I think Meredith is on her way out now. She's not gonna die, but like they're writing her
Probably
off
retire
now.
her and have her move on, probably.
No, she's not being wrote off. She's just appearing in less episodes.
Yeah, you know, the whole point of the show is it's called Grey's Anatomy. It's supposed to be about her life, not everyone else's lives.
Well, it hasn't been that since
For a
like
long
season
time.
3.
Yeah, season 3 it was like, let's talk about other people's lives. Let's look at Teddy and Owen and, and
Owen.
Christina for a long time, and then let's not do anything with any of that.
Bro, I felt so bad for Owen.
She had destroyed me.
Yup.
Ugh.
I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, I mean, Owen was kind of a shithead sometimes, but you still felt bad for him.
At least his reasons were somewhat understandable.
Yes.
Am I the only
100%.
one here who hasn't seen Grey's Anatomy?
Alright, boys, I want you to do the same thing that I'm about to do. Point out his name and laugh at him in 3, 2, 1. Ah, he didn't watch Grey's! Fucking loser!
Hold on, you just got.
Recording's over. Recording's over, boys. He
That's
left.
how we end the episode. Him getting laughed at.
I will subsequently edit that out. And
Damn.
scene.
Damn.
You gotta keep that in there.
That'd be funny.
Oh, it's gonna be funny. Everyone's just gonna be very confused by the sudden lack of people talking, but it'll be fine.
Man, just like that after what happened. Just after that plane crash in Grace, bro.
God.
Jesus
And
Christ.
then when Derek died, that was so...
Wait, that character dies?
Yeah. A
Yes,
lot
dude.
of characters die.
Yeah,
Huh.
spoiler alert to people that haven't seen this part of the show.
Fuck him, who cares?
Eric's dead. Alex is gone. Shit's fucked.
Like the writers were like out for blood when they were writing that episode. Honestly, like fuck you.
Sherry,
That's-
correct me if I'm wrong. Who's Derek played by?
Patrick freaking Dempsey.
Oh, that's okay. So it is the character I'm thinking of. Okay.
He is the McDreamy. They call him McDreamy. He's fucking sexy, man. Like,
Eli, don't come on the podcast, please.
no, I'll be fine. But like,
Next thing his voice starts to get a little higher in pitch.
in comparison to like Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds is a guy that you want to have like
Nah.
intimate relations with, but
Henry
Patrick
Cavill.
Dempsey is the one you want to have like a whole fucking
Legacy?
relationship with. Like, you want a legacy with him.
I want a legacy with Henry Cavill, please. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, man.
The dude literally played Geralt, one of my favorite characters, even though the show's not that great. But, like, he's a huge Witcher nerd. Like, he built his own PC, he's jacked as fuck, like...
He was almost late for Superman because of video games.
He could be, yeah, the Superman audition. He almost missed the Super audition because he was playing games. This dude, like, would be my best fucking friend. That's all I'm gonna say.
I feel like he has the anime protagonist syndrome going on.
Oh my god.
A good way. In
Yeah.
a good sense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of chins. Like, he's very chinly man.
He has the CGI chin, the regular chin,
The crimson chin,
the crimson chin.
the bronze kneecap.
Can we just start calling Henry Cavill's Superman the crimson chin?
Can we just
gonna be the insert word that will not sound good on a recording? Chin.
No, no.
Hey, yo, wait, that took a while for me.
Wait, he did do that, just like Frieza in the new thing of Dragon Ball.
Hey, yo.
Oh yeah, Frieza now has.
He's in
Yeah.
Paris now. Why did you just send the fucking cringe ass Nene baby thing, Eli?
That was you for not watching Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you motherfucker! Let's go to the episode 2. God damn it! Fuck!
Get fucked.
As soon as I realize it, it's just gonna play over me talking.
Good.
Like, I'm being completely honest here. I was my friend Nick. I don't think he tricked me into watching, but he got me hooked. I watched 3 episodes in the middle of the series, and this was before and this was after all the Meredith drama, and this is when this is more about the hospital, and I got hooked. It was just like that, and then I started watching the beginning of it. Man, the summer that I watched that, I was in a really bad emotional place, and Grey's did not help.
No, not at all.
Eli knows what I'm talking about. I will not go into the details in this podcast. But it was both the highest of highs of that summer and the lowest of lows. It was from both Grey's and my life. And usually they coincide with one another.
Anyone feel like they always have their favorite character die, no matter the medium?
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Yep,
Happens
that
to me all
was
the
me.
time.
I swear to God, that's gonna happen to me in the newest season of Stranger Things. I swear
Spoiler
to
for
God.
Stranger Things, it happens every season for me.
Well, I think the next season they're gonna kill off a character that I think is going to be my favorite.
I think the only one, season 1, it didn't happen because I don't think there's any favorites that died for me. But season 2, fucking Bob. Season 3, fucking what's his name? Is the Russian.
Billy? I know who you're talking about.
Yep, I don't care that Billy died. Billy died. That's
He was a
fine, who
cool
cares?
character though.
He was cool, but he
I
wasn't
get
one
it.
of my favorites.
I know who you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
a weird name. It's Alexi. That's what it is.
Alexi, yeah, it was a huge emotional moment. And then fucking season 4, huge spoiler, fucking Eddie. God damn it.
What a Chad.
Ugh.
Okay, let's be real though. Bob and Eddie had big X's on their back.
Oh yeah, from the start.
I think
When you give a character a huge speech at the start of the season, they're marked for death already.
Yeah, I think my biggest fear. I think they're gonna kill off Steve next.
That's a big fear, but his character arc is done, so they have nothing to hold him back.
No, I know, and that's why I'm if they do it. I'm happy they didn't do it this season, because if they did it this season, I might have stopped watching the show. But if he dies next season, I might die.
Well, it's supposed to be the last season, so
Boobies,
consequences
Eli!
are last.
Boobies! I relate to that man. Alright? I'm a simple person. I see.
Yo, speaking of boobies, Chainsaw Man?
Oh my god, we do not talk about that.
I haven't even seen the show. I don't even know what it's about.
Big
I don't know,
Dommy Mommy.
Oh fuck.
No. Well, yes and no. A bit more complicated than that. But essentially, it's about Denji, who has been handed out arguably one of the shortest straws that one can pull when it comes to the ladder of life. You see him essentially grow and go through some of these events and realize that life is not as simple as you might think it could be at times. I would highly recommend reading the manga. It is quite good. I do believe the first arc finished and they just started the second arc.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yes, they did.
I haven't really kept up with the second arc, but the first arc was really good.
I haven't kept up with the second arc either as of yet, but I finished it like a week or two ago. First arc is fucking rough.
Yup.
I will say this. One of the funniest things about that anime is, like, the comedy is actually really good. I've never had a manga make me laugh. That's the first time a manga's made me laugh. Like, one of the very first things is like, this isn't too much of spoilers because it's everywhere. It's literally in the title. He becomes the chainsaw demon, is the idea. In this world, like, demons have power because of, like, what they do. So there's, like, the gun demon and stuff like that. But specifically for Denji, like, how every shonen protagonist has, like, an end goal?
Yeah, of course.
In the first little bit of the first arc, he wants to touch boobies. That is his
relatable,
goal.
huh?
It is very relatable.
Life.
Titties are nice, but what good are titties with no emotional value?
That's what people who haven't touched titties say.
Dude, it's just that meme. I fucking love that meme video. I might put that at the end, like, of this episode, and link the person because that video's too fucking good.
Goodreads would recommend.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any movies?
What was the name of the movie? Was it Bohemian? The one about Freddie Mercury and the band of Queen.
Really,
You
that
mean
movie
Rap-
made you cry?
I watched it on an airplane, and holy shit, did I nearly cry like 3 times.
I was not the biggest fan of that movie.
I thought I enjoyed it personally.
I should rephrase it. I liked it when I watched it the first time, but when I found out everything about it is like almost not true at all, it really made me upset.
I just took it as a
It's a
story.
little
Up there. What'd you say, Sherry?
It's just like any biopic. It's not 100% factual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, I found out literally almost all of it was not true.
What was the name of that one X-Men movie? Logan. Holy shit.
Oh, Logan, yeah. Yeah, that's...
Bro.
You were American if you didn't cry at Logan.
True.
I'm trying to... I might have cried. It might have been, like, that single tear.
I got close.
I either got close or it was, like, a single tear.
Can I tell you, like, the reason why it fucked me up so much?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Also, spoilers. So, I'm flying back to Istanbul, right? And it's a transatlantic flight, we have movies and whatever, and I'm watching the movie. When I saw Wolverine's clone go up the stairs of this shitty house, and you see him plunge his claws deep into Professor Xavier's chest, we hit fucking turbulence, bro. I felt that scene in my bones, bro.
Yep.
Okay, that's... You watched Logan on a plane?
It was good.
I mean,
The
yeah.
movie was amazing.
It is. I have the 4K edition at my house.
Look, man, one of the few times I watch movies is either if I'm on a plane because there's nothing to do, or if I'm just bored.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a movie person.
No, I get it. I just, like... I watched it in theaters. And
What
I just...
sucks the most was I just had, like, my tea from the stewardess, and I was,
all over
like,
you.
moving... I was basically moving my hands towards my front and watching them at the same time. We hit turbulence. I went, oh, fucking shit.
Man really was fighting for his life.
Bro, I felt that scene. Not gonna, like, real talk. I felt that scene.
That's
It's gonna stay with
so
me to the
funny.
end of my days.
Fucking A.
Passion of Logan.
Like,
Jeff got the full-ass IMAX experience. Goddamn.
Yup. I mean, the sound quality was kind of ass, but,
Well,
yeah. Worse.
Next thing you know...
Actual 4D movie.
Jem.
What?
Wait.
An actual 4-dimensional movie.
Oh, God.
No. I have... Jem, you can...
What?
You can never watch the third Batman movie on a plane. And Bane in the beginning of the movie. The Christopher Nolan one.
Are you talking about the third movie, the Dark Knight trilogy?
Yeah. I think Dark Knight Rises, where he crashes the plane.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe,
you don't want the full
not.
experience in that instance.
Yeah, probably not.
That was the joke I was going for, you ass.
I'm gonna pass on that one. Just to be honest with you, I'm good. I don't need that in my life just yet.
I just think it would be funny if like you're watching the movie happen and then Bane just appears, like he just like you hear it on you're just sitting in your seat, you just hear like it match up with the audio on your screen, and you're like, wait, why does it say live leak in the corner?
Bro, why am I hearing like dark orchestral music in real life right now? What's going on?
Who did the fucking soundtrack for Dark Knight?
Hans Zimmer, what the fuck?
Wait. It's like the fucking SpongeBob episode where they start playing the music for the fucking shark. God damn it. Alright, I think we should start wrapping this episode up.
These nuts. Cut.
Movie? And I know Eli is in the same boat as me, too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
For me, it was, for anybody...
No. Oh. Let me say it. It's a Foxcatcher.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Oh
Foxcatcher.
god.
Foxcatcher really.
Yeah, I remember you
was.
talking about it. It's very depressingly sad, isn't it?
Based on a true story.
I've never
It's like
seen it.
mostly accurate. It's like 95% accurate. The only thing they didn't portray is the time difference between when one character left and the other character. You know what the even more fucked up part about it is?
What?
And this is more of a joke for me and Eli. Our coach, our wrestling coach, made jokes about that. And
Hey, yo!
and we made jokes back about him killing his son, who was also on the team.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what?
It was some really bad off-kilter shit. We probably shouldn't have did, but we fucking did anyway.
Hey, yo.
It's so funny. It was also like the one where because we actually played like laser tag with it, and I still have a picture. One of the laser guns, and like looking angry at it, kind of looking like DuPont.
Oh god.
The,
Did though.
the one movie that made me fucking cry like a little baby was Hachi. That movie made me bawl my fucking eyes out. Have any of you guys seen that movie?
No.
It's a really good movie, but god damn it, I didn't think Richard Gere's dog would make me cry. Fucking A, man.
Well, on that note, I think we should wrap it up here.
Alright. Sounds good. Talk to you boys later. See you guys next episode.
Revoir.
Au revoir. Shoshana.
God, I could finally take a piss. I'm about to explode, bro. Later.
Titties are nice, but what good is a pair of tits if there's no emotional value? This is a question I will ask till the end of time.